That was literally like 2 RPMs.
That's the best I could do. That is literally the best I could do. All right, guys, we are back here working on the bad apples. So, as of right now, it is Monday evening, 6:30, and kind of trying to get a game plan together and what we're going to do. We have fired the car up. We have to... This is actually going to be the first time we fired up with a charge pipe on with this motor. We had to kind of... You want to talk about that, redoing the charge pipe?
So originally, whenever I built the charge pipe, I guess everything wasn't... We thought the motor was bolted up, but it wasn't. And whenever we actually put the motor in here and, you know, we got the transmission stuff fixed and had a spacer on the mid plate didn't need to be there, we removed it all, got the motor in here correctly. There's a little bit of gap there on the charge pipe. So rather than making it or doing whatever, I just cut it, extended it. It was about a 1/4 inch. Not too big of a gap to bridge, so I just welded on the inside out. We're gonna clean it up. Joe's gonna polish it.
It'll be polished by Joe at DCF, so you can't. Yeah, it did weld it inside and out, so it's like plenty meaty.
We're good. So we just didn't have time to remake it. We don't have material, like, you know, we're just gonna make it work. So been doing some wiring, been trying to figure out what we're gonna do on the transmission cooler. I think we're gonna put it in the trunk, the actual lines for the external cooler, just because, you know, with a race car where you're pulling the front end off, you can access everything easily. You don't have to worry about scratching the fenders. This, we're just gonna be taking the hood off. So we're just gonna be putting fuel in it and vacuuming the valve cover. So we didn't want to have the transmission lines drug over the fenders and scratching it up, and just in the trunk will be easier. So got all the stuff ordered from A-Tech. It'll be here. We're gonna do that tomorrow. Go to the hub dyno on Wednesday.
Oh no, they don't even know.
They don't even know.
You guys don't even know. So originally, they had... I'm trying to get a game plan for the year earlier, like February, March time, and we're looking at all the races coming up. I signed up for the 100K dig or die race, and I was like, damn, Colorado, definitely be there, because originally we dropped the truck off in February, and we were like, do you think
we talked about this whenever we were going over the sheet?
We might have, but we haven't come to the conclusion that we're at now. So I was planning to take Colorado to this $100,000 race. Obviously, that's right out the window. So now we're left with the bad apple, which potentially could be our best contender for a no prep-ish race. Now, obviously, the power plant here is a little bit overkill. We got a nice, hefty, you know, small block Ford, 427 cubic inches, and a 98 millimeter forced inductions turbo. Maybe a little bit much, yeah. But transmission's got a Mickey 2-speed 400, long first gear, which we've never run on the no prep stuff, which should be interesting to see. Also internal external dump. So with dumping both of those, we might be able to loosen the converter up enough to actually get down. Yep. Stock suspension, Fox body, front and rear. It's set up to have weight inside the car, which is a very, 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 very important thing for this upcoming race, because no external weight. Now, you're saying no weight on the axle. Do they consider that outside the body?
I mean, I would think, like, because otherwise, what's the difference between putting it off the bumper and putting it on the axle or anything? It says no external weight, no visible external weight. And to me, you got a bunch of barbells strapped to the axle, that's external weight. So maybe a little bit of more of a definition, but I think it's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a big change for a lot of guys, because they're going in there, you know, hanging, you know, 200, 300 pounds as far back like the butt hurt bar with beater bomb. So I don't know, it's gonna be, I think Bill Lutz was gonna come. He can't come now.
No, I think they're saying he can come.
Oh wow. Yeah, the surface is the equalizer. Now when you get to where you're hanging a bunch of weight and you're using the mechanical advantage of the weight, you know, farther out, I think that might be kind of like some cars, you know, the trucks I think have the biggest advantage because they can get way behind the rear axle. A stock Mustang, you can only get so far behind the rear axle with the weight, unless you, like I said, build a butt hurt bar that's, you know, 6 foot back. You get a lot more mechanical advantage of it. So, you know, that 100 pounds is like putting 700 pounds on the trunk. So,
and you could see some of these cars when they're rolling around the pits, like they're just driving like casually down to the start line and their tires just wrinkled all to hell, and you're just like, damn.
Yeah, they got a lot of weight. So I experimented with a lot of weight. I wish I could put more weight in it. My chassis is not set up for that. You know, this chassis, we can put some. So we're going to put some weight in it.
Yeah, well, show them what we're talking about. We got a little...
So we got some bars here. I don't know if we have any kind of ballast or anything to go in there, but we got some. We're going to get some weight back here, one way or another. So
you can put a couple, you know, 20 pounders on there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So there you guys go. Also, if you guys are wondering who won the turbo giveaway, it is still Monday. I haven't got the results yet, so you're gonna have to wait. You know, maybe by Wednesday I'd like to have it. So maybe a video by Friday.
Yeah. And anybody that doesn't watch to the end of the videos, Storm Hub. If you got a 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck and you want to make some money, hurricane season is upon us. You guys can do it. If you got a fuel transfer tank, if you don't have a fuel transfer tank, all you really need is a pintle hitch. Hook that thing up to your truck.
A little bit of reliability, a little bit of accountability,
Yep.
and you can fill your pockets full of money. So send us an email at lsnastyllc@gmail.com. Subject line Storm Hub, and we can get you all set up to. It's not a full-time job, but you can definitely, there's some money to be made out there. I consider it, for a lot of guys, it's a race car fund. You know, you can go out there, you work a couple weeks, make a couple tens of thousands of dollars in a couple of weeks.
Build you an Ella Swap Mustang over a day.
Yep, and it's easy, and it's one of those things too. We can put you on the list if, you know, we call and say, hey, we got a storm, and you have a prior obligation. It's no big deal. But if you got, hey, I'm free this weekend, or I'm free for the next 2 weeks, or whatever, and you want to make some money, it's the way to do it.
Here,
If
Matt
Phil
said
can do
it's,
it, anybody can do it.
If you want to make some money, you get free.
you hear what Matt said? It's no dig deal. If you're busy.
No dig deal.
No dig deal.
I got Digger Die on the brain.
He does got bigger. Hey, look at the head gasket death row right there.
God.
Look at that. Look at that. That is impressive. Look at that.
We're gonna melt all the copper down.
I swear I haven't been through that many head gaskets.
I don't know about that one.
Tape's about to break off.
You know what's funny? All those are broke V-bands beside it too. All those over here.
Oh God. What an intro. All right, guys, let's get into today's video. Welcome. Today's video is a Fox Body exclusive video. We're over here with the Glizzard. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I think in my fear of spiders and my laziness both have hindered me from doing this. What we are about to do is slap the coilovers back on it, and I'm going to switch the bars out to the titanium Cameron Johnson race car bars. So I've talked about these before. If you guys have a Fox Body and you know you're running out of upgrades to do, getting some titanium lower control arms are definitely move. These things are absolutely badass. As you can see, Cameron Johnson race cars killed it. You can get these just like this with no spring perch or with the spring perch on it, but check out Cameron Johnson race cars for these bad boys. We're going to throw them in along with the shocks, then we'll be ready to set the car on the ground and make it mobile once we put the front K member in, because the front K member has clearance issues with the oil pan right now. So before I needed to put this stuff to make it mobile, now I need to get the front to make it mobile. Unfortunately, I cannot take the control arm completely out, but what I will do is I'll take it off the rear end. I'll hold the rear end up with a jack, drop the bar, take the bar off, leave that Heim right there, so I don't even have to like undo that. Screw these bad boys on and be good to go. So yeah, this thing right here will be for sale soon. It's a badass narrowed braced 8.8, and it's got your adjustable shock mounts on there for an inboard coilover. It's got the bracing up front. It's got gun drilled axles, the big 5.8 studs, dual strange brakes. I'm actually going to sell this and put a 9-inch in it eventually, but for right now, I think we'll be plenty fine with this. Maybe I should hook the inner roll bar up.
Why is that?
Well, I didn't realize the bolts were on the other side. I just thought I didn't have the hardware. God dang, they must have had so much preload in this thing. Look at how far extended the other side is. That is like hella extended. Maybe it's not, maybe, I don't know, maybe someone was messing with it on the lift, but who knows. This thing's pretty nice. They cut the floors out back here, so you got a bunch of room, like obviously no fuel tank or anything. Inner roll bars in there. They got this bar up here for where your shock mount goes. Like it's a pretty nice see this bar right here, it's got your shock mounts there and there for the inboard coilovers, adjustable shock mounts too. So like I would say 8.8 wise, this is about as nice as they come. You know, it's got all the goodies on there. Something like this, if you're building a Fox Body at home and you pick this up, like it makes your life so much easier. It's got everything done for you. I'd say a lot of guys building stuff, the hardest part is just like the fabricating stuff. Even here, like with Matt here, we can do a good bit of fabrication, but
It's just a pain, honestly.
if you're not like a fab shop or used to it or do it all the time, you can mess stuff up pretty quick. I mean, look at me building Zoomies. You know, it's a prime example of that. So I'm gonna try to take this one out. So these brackets here also on the housing are infinite adjustable. As you can see, they got the little grooves, so you can literally move that thing up and down. So like bar angle wise, this is really good for making adjustments for stock suspension, Fox body. And up front, you got the wild rides, torque boxes, uppers and lowers. So that's what I'm saying. Like the Glizzard is like, as far as stock suspension Mustangs come, it's about as badass as it gets. 25.5. Got a bunch of really nice stuff on it, so I'm stoked. So let me get a wrench and see if we can pop this off and get that bar out and keep the rear end from falling out of it. If you're not familiar with how like these bars work, listen, they get me every single time. One of these is reverse thread, so like when you have them on there and then you crank down on it, as you can see, they're both extending and then they're both getting smaller. If they were the same thread, essentially you wouldn't be able to change bar angles. You'd just be cranking on it and one would be backing out, one would be getting closer. Which sometimes that's what it feels like when you're trying to mess with these suckers.
When you're cranking on it.
When you're cranking on it, yeah. But let's see, we'll back this out. Yeah, pretty good size Heims. So I got these bars from Cameron Johnson Race Cars without Heims. You can get them with they already come with the tube nut welded in there. And his are nice because they have that flat face on there, which is super helpful when trying to unjam the nut.
Sorry, you're tight. There you go.
I wasn't listening to what I just talked about. So we'll take this sucker out of here.
How much lighter is that?
Dude. Here, G-Rock. You be the scale. Here, you feel that one? Alright, now you feel this one. Alright, which one's lighter?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Matt. Listen, guys, don't let him fool you. He could hear us.
He literally has no music in.
I know. Hey, feel the difference. Hey, redneck.
Y'all own a pair of scissors?
Yeah, I do. They're in my box. Hey, before you go over there, feel these, though. Impressively light.
Feel like candy. Whoa.
All right. Shit! Oh, look at that.
Got his hand pinned to the floor.
Hold on. George, help me here. Grab it, George. All right, there you go. Let's go, keep grabbing. No,
This suddenly turned into a different style video. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Man, quality welding. He did a real good job. Titanium's actually pretty difficult to weld. You have to kind of put it in a tent to weld it, fully purged with argon, and it looks like he did a really good job. So
he's like the titanium king. Everything titanium.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. Good quality work.
Yeah.
So he should definitely.
We're getting lighter.
Lighten up the rear.
All right, we'll see which side is which, though, is the real question. Pro, literally like a pro. Literally like a pro.
No.
50 chance on that.
I did have a 50.
You know what they say about a squirrel?
Don't look like a fool now. Don't look like a fool. We there. We threading, boys. We threading, boys. So what I'm gonna do for putting these on is I'm gonna run the jam nut all the way down, and then I'll tighten these all the way up, and then I'll put it in the rear end, and then I'll back it out some so I know that they're even, if that makes sense to you guys at home. Because if you start with 1 3/4 of the way out there and the one all the way in there, it's gonna be you're gonna have one Heim sticking all the way out, and the other one's gonna be all the way in. So, and when you're doing the messing with Heims, you don't want it. This is not gonna be ideal. You want to try to stick as much in there as possible. So, especially building a 4-link car, make sure you get your bar angles, right where you want them, so you don't have the Heim sticking all the way out. Just like a weak point. But yeah, these things are sweet. I mean, look at, and this is all it takes to install, so sweet. All right, so we got everything on there. If you look underneath here, we got our shocks on and our roll bar hooked up. We decided to just hook that up since we're down here. Got our adjustable shock mounts and everything, and then we got our titanium lower control arms on there, which look absolutely sick. So this thing right here is ready to rock. We'll tomorrow we're gonna order the bolt for the K-member and get that on there, and then we'll throw the wheels and tires on here, and the Glizzard will be mobile. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. We're doing all right over here. I got these AFCO. I think these are actually Mensers. I got Menser shocks on here right now, and they look good. They came with the car. Depending on what we do, I might get a little bit longer of a shock if we're gonna do like radial stuff. But I think this car right here will be a good kind of do it all car. Might be able to run slicks on it, run some no prep, run some radials.
You ever heard of those QA1 shocks?
The mod shock.
They're pretty nice.
They're pretty tough. So
they probably have the length you want too.
yeah, they definitely do. We actually got a set of 7-inch travel shocks for the Bad Apple, which I think I talked about. We got to get put on there. But Wes and I knocked this stuff out. Kind of took our time. Got done here. We'll go check on Matt and see what he's going on. Wiring up transmission dump valves and pressure sensors. And
I wish we could catch him singing right now.
he was singing before. He's got his AirPods in or whatever.
See if I can zoom in. How long will it take him to notice us looking at him? Oh, I thought he was going to look.
Notice us, but he's just ignoring us now.
He's trying to play it cool.
Yeah, he's like, all right, just pretend like we're working.
Let's catch him coming in.
He does. He can feel us looking at him.
He's got to.
Alright, so our Fox body party is doing great. It's now, we're sneaking up on midnight. Matt was doing a bunch of wiring to this thing, so we're heading to the dyno Wednesday afternoon. So all we have left to do on it is set valve flash, switch bungs over to 12 from 10, and we're going to redo the throttle pedal and make sure we get our cable and everything so it's 100% good. Then just give everything a once over. Matt spent most of the evening making a custom wiring harness for the transmission. I know what you guys are saying. Are you guys running an EFI transmission? And I guess the answer is kind of. So we'll put the car up in the air real quick, let you guys check out Matt's nifty.
I'm gonna go on the inside and see where it's mounted, and then we'll go under it.
All right, so I'm back to flashlight holder. If you guys ever come to the shop, by the way, and Matt's here working, be sure to kick these if they're open. That's kind of like, it's kind of like saying, hello, Matt. So, you can see which ones Matt did.
Yeah, I went into the J3 connector. Everything has service loop, old Tesla wire, Raychem heat shrink. So it's going to run up there. The 2 solid state relays will go into the harness for the trans brake, and then one of the dumps. And so normally I do like a mil-spec bulkhead connector on the transmission tunnel or up on the firewall. We didn't have any of those, so I just got some Deutsch 8-pin connectors. So we'll go ahead and pick it up, and you guys can see the bottom. There's a lot that goes into actually, I mean, the wiring harness. You know, some people are like, oh, it's just a few things, but
just plug it up.
Yeah, getting the length right. All right, so the factory trans connector had weather pack connector. We switched over to 3-pin Deutsch connector. This is for the external dump on the trans. I had to go to the braided loom on some of it just because I didn't have enough 3/16. When I come down here, I bring just some random stuff, and hopefully I got enough to make it work. This time didn't have quite enough, but the trans temp sensor go here. I'm going to use the AEM sensor. It has the DTM connector right on it. I'll put the lock in it whenever it gets here. We got this that'll loop up here for the converter charge pressure, which will be coming off the transmission. So that'll set like that right there. Harness over here. So got all these. They all have service loops. This will have a back shell usually, so the heat shrink on there. I don't have any back shells, so it's just open. But we're gonna mount this, and this is the old like pressure transducer. So we're gonna be getting rid of that. This will come around here, ground, mount right here. So this will ground for the rear dump. The internal dump is grounded as well. So we got convert charge pressure, trans temp, and then over here on this other side, we will have the line pressure. So let's go through here and we'll do some retain it, and it'll come in like that right there. So we got that. Harness is good. I did one connector, so this is literally all you have to do if you want to remove the transmission is boom, whole entire harness comes down. So that way, when you're sitting there and you're pulling it and you want to get it out quick, you just unplug the one connector. So we can do it like that. Like I said, you can do it with a mil-spec connector. I usually like to use the mil-spec connectors, but those are some, they're fairly expensive, so you don't want to just have an absolute ton of them. So usually order them per basis, because you might need 20 pins, you might need 50 pins, 2 pins.
But now we have our transmission harness. So
Yep.
big shout out to Matt for knocking that out. And tomorrow, I know I just keep dragging you guys out. You guys aren't going to hear the bad apple tonight, but tomorrow I promise you guys will hear the bad apple. And we hope to have the results for the turbo giveaway as well. So we're just kind of knocking things down on the list. Matt's doing an excellent job going over everything, really making sure it's done and done right, so we don't have any issues. So just like the black sheep, we're going through everything and just making sure trying to make it as solid as possible. So when the car's done, there's not a lot of rework and there's more preventative maintenance and a lot of racing.
Yeah. And I know somebody's going to say that they're not labeled. I usually do label them and everything, but just time constraints, and we're just trying to roll with it.
You're working on it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, the way it is. I do the male and female connectors, that way you can't plug it up backwards or anything, and everything's right there. But if I ever do a harness for somebody, or like if we have some time, like we'll do slick rick, everything will be labeled. So
why does my converter charge pressure say 200 degrees?
You would be surprised.
So, all right, well, I hope you guys are getting excited. We're getting closer and closer to having the bad apple knocked out in the fleet. And, I know you guys might not think these are the most exciting videos, but these are the videos that lead to the exciting videos. A lot of work.
This is it. This is what we do. I mean,
a lot of work in the shop. You guys don't see hell, Matt's been on the phone most of the day ordering parts. I've been on the phone paying for stuff, buying stuff, coordinating stuff. There's just so many moving pieces. Storm stuff. There's so many moving pieces to what we have going on here. It's absolutely insane. So,
yeah.
And it's pretty much just, we got Wes, Logan, Matt, me. We're just plugging away here. So,
yep.
Burning the candle on all four ends.
Yeah, we'll get the ATEC order tomorrow, and then hopefully by 12 o'clock we'll have it fired up.
Yeah, the goal is tomorrow evening have this thing ready to go in the trailer, and then that means we can push the next project that we're going to be working on onto the lift and get working on that. So did some stuff on the Blizzard, got everything in the rear all situated, so I'm excited about that. Order the bolts and everything tomorrow to get the K-member set in there, and then we'll be ready to go and mobile. So chipping away.
Rocking and rolling. Yeah, we I think we're going to be working with Full Spectrum Power in the future, so I'm excited to talk about them. They make some pretty awesome batteries, so if you guys are in the market for a lithium battery, check them out, Full Spectrum Power.
We're going to be throwing their battery in Slick Rick, and Matt ordered a bunch of stuff from Stainless Bros today, got some tile stuff, or Turbo Smart stuff ordered, some material orders, some race part stuff ordered, so we got a lot of parts coming in. We're just about ready to get rock and rolling on that, as well as we just got some parts in for 50 Chance. So to say we have a little bit of work is an understatement.
Yeah, try to get the cage in it sometime.
Yeah.
Cage, and then get the motor mounted transmission. I don't really want to do the ladder bar quite yet, because I'd like to get the ride out of the vehicle.
Order the strange stuff.
Yeah, strange stuff, axles, third member. It's a lot.
Alright, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Don't forget to go to lsnash.com, check that out. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified, because we are in the work phase right now. Once we get this stuff knocked out, we're going to be doing a whole lot of racing, like every single day almost. I have a goal. I want to race every single day for 2 weeks straight, 14 days at the track.
I don't know if we can race, but we can test.
We'll test.
Test.
Race. Test. Race. Test. Race. With all different cars.
Yeah, we'll just go to Darlington and be like, hey, we need you to line us up 2 weeks worth of racing for all our cars, and we just trailer them all down there and just...
Alright, hell yeah. Alright, that's going to wrap today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you get notified. In all seriousness, we are tossing the idea up of doing another LS Nasty experience, if you guys are longtime viewers, with either a ride-along or driving experience part of it. So I think we're going to try to do something that's never been done before.
And I hope whoever wins it, I hope it's one of those people that's like, huh, that ain't even that fast.
Oh my God. Trust me. That's why the whole giveaway thing started. is me being petty. And I just not like. I mean, it's all random draw, but God, if someone wins and they're just like they come in there,
Couch
yeah,
racer.
my uncle had, and I'm gonna like go through them like, what's your YouTube name? And I'm gonna research it and go through all their comments. And if they are, oh brother, we're gonna be like, you know what? Just put the other seat in Slick Rick. We got something to do.
God, could you imagine a 3-second ride along pass?
Hey, look.
He get to buy this round. Don Doc got to buy this round. The black sheep on the property. He got to buy to the next round. 15 here.